Um, so, how do we ensure operational excellence? Was anybody here last year, and heard Americo's speech about the elephant? Yeah. Okay. A few nods. So Americo turned around and said, if you walk blindfolded into an organisation and there was an elephant in the room and you only had the ear to feel, you think you were kind of like, that's the problem, is a piece of leather. Or if you had the tail, I think you called it a snake, which I thought was a bit, his imagination was better than mine. But he kind of referred to the snake. And he was basically saying, don't try and kind of understand everything, understand the problems you're there to fix. So I think recently there was a survey I saw on LinkedIn where I think, so what are the first things you do in organisations? And quite a few people said, know your purpose. So a quick question for you guys. Who here have experienced the PMO type coming into an organisation within weeks? They're telling you what you need to do. Come on, show of hands. Okay, a good few there. Who within this organisation has done it themselves? Because I have. Yeah, early in my career, I went and went, I know what you need. I've read a book. Yeah, so really understand the problem, okay, and then that builds up your purpose. Okay, develop approaches for delivering your purpose. So don't get hung up in what the textbook says. Look at your organisation. Look at the things that will work within your organisation, and build up approaches for delivering your purpose. So what do we do there? We then look at that and we look at the key levers that we can improve. And against those approaches, we have OKRs. Anybody in the room not familiar with the concept of OKRs? There's a couple, okay. If you want to, I'll put my LinkedIn details at the end. Just have a look at that and I can kind of give a little bit of a brief explanation and some videos on that. But basically it's saying, focus on your outcomes and how you're going to measure those outcomes, okay? Okay, so what we do, we refresh this annually, review it 6 monthly. Would we like to do it more? Probably. Do we have time to do it more often? Probably not. Okay, so that itself may change. We also then try to understand the pain points within those approaches. Bearing in mind, 2 years ago, we started from nothing. If we had the same things we were doing 2 years ago, okay, we failed the business. So you've got to constantly review that and identify those pain points. Identify the root causes of those pain points and fix the pain points. Pretty logical, yeah? Okay. So we use Pareto rule. Anybody in the room not familiar with Pareto rule? Okay, so Pareto rule is about, if you fix 20% of things, the most important 20% of things, you fix 80% of the problems. Okay? Very simple lean technique. So we do a quarterly exercise, and some of these are still in progress, I won't lie, we haven't been doing this forever. We do a quarterly exercise of understanding those, and then we fix the pain points, we plan, do, check, act, come back. If it hasn't worked, we then work out whether the fix is good enough, or does it need to go back to the top of the priority list again to revisit that. So how do we understand root causes? There's no end of tools out there. Anybody familiar with FMEA? Yeah. Anybody try to roll that FMEA? Yeah, it's blooming hard work, yeah? Trying to get organisations embracing with that, really hard work. So don't go in heavy early. Think of some of the really simple techniques. So we use the old Ishikawa fishbone diagram. We have simple headers on there, and most people talk about Ishikawa and talk about the MEPEM model, which works really well in manufacturing, but not so well in professional service environment. We've adapted that. So when you're looking at root causes, look at them through the optic of people, process, measurement motivators, tools, tech, and structures. And that can include things like behaviours, hierarchies. The list is endless. And to really drive down as close as we can to the root cause, we use 5 whys.